to the next slide, which speaks about the next aspect of our next model we call as decision tree. So now we are done with linear regression and we have learned what is meant by logistic regression. So at this point of time, you must be able to appreciate the difference between a linear regression and logistic regression. When there is one input variable and one output variable, we go for the linear regression. Whenever there are multiple independent variables, multiple input values, and when the output value happens to be more than one, so then we go for logistic regression. So we have seen the variants of that. Like we know what is meant by binomial, we know what is meant by multinomial, and then ordinal regression. So now we are moving our attention to typically different, which is radically different from the regression that we have discussed. So this is called as decision tree. So from the name we can understand this is used for making decisions. That is, we go for classification. So why do we call this as a decision tree? Like any other tree, it is going to have a root and then it will have branches and it will end with a set of nodes. We call them as leaves. And you have to understand one point here. When we work with a data set, so I told you in the beginning, the data set is in the form of rows and columns, and all the columns are being called as attributes. And the last column, if the output is given, that is called as the class value or label value. So when we go for prediction, so our target is only the class value, I mean the label or the class value. So in the decision tree, suppose if we have a data set which has the class value or a label or the output, right? So we are going to construct a kind of decision tree which branches out something as shown in the slide, and there will be a root node. Let me put it this way. So you have a collection of attributes. We are still in the previous slide. Let me start afresh from this. You just ignore that. I'll start with decision tree. So now we are into yet another model called decision tree. So this model is radically different from the previous kind of models that we discussed, the linear regression, logistic regression. So this decision tree is the one. This is one of the machine learning models, very interesting models. This decision tree enables enables to get kind of solution when you have multiple attributes. So based upon the values of the attributes, we must be able to deduce to a decision. In other words, I told you in the beginning, if you have a data set, if you get a chance to look into a data set, and it will be in the form of rows as well as columns. So you must be knowing all the columns refer to the attributes of the data set that we are studying. And the last one, suppose if it is given as output, so that column is called as class or a label. So the rest of them are independent variables, and the last one is the dependent variable. So the output variable. So always let us keep in our mind the inputs are independent and the output is dependent. So of course you will have a collection of rows and each pertaining to a particular case, and record 1, record 2, record 3 and so on. So when we have the set of attributes, now we attempt to go for the construction of a decision tree. The decision tree will be constructed by following certain logic. Suppose if I have 5 attributes in a data set. So out of the 5 attributes, I mean the input attributes, I mean the input variables. So when I have 5 different input variables, then I have to apply a small kind of computation called entropy information gain. And then I have to finalize among the 5 which is the one, which variable has got the best significance as we go for the construction of the decision tree. So I am going to hierarchically organize these attributes, these 5 input values, so that at the end of the decision tree, I will be able to get the output values. For instance, before we get into the multiple outputs, let us take the example that you are familiar with. Suppose if you have a student record, and if the output is going to be either pass or fail, we have a collection of attributes, their assignment marks, their previous semester performance, their performance in their school, then pre-degree, all those stuff. So with their performance, which was there, which have been collected from the past events, we may be able to assess or predict what will be the performance or what will be the kind of marks the student can score. So in this case, if it is going to be a pass or a fail, right? So it is going to be only binary. If I am going to like make the model to predict whether it is whether the performance of the student is going to be distinction, first class, second class, third class, and then fail. Now I have 5 different outputs. So these 5 different outputs will become all possible output nodes, and we call them as leaf nodes. So when I start from the root node, when I start following certain conditions, so when the condition is satisfied at each node, I have to branch out. Suppose if it is yes, I have to branch to one side, probably left side. And if it is no, probably I have to branch to the right side. So I'm going to like descend the tree, and at the end I'm going to hit upon any one of the class values. And for instance, it can be first class, distinction, first class, second class, third class, and then fail. So now you'll be able to understand if you look into the table that is given. So the first one is the root node. That has got the highest significance, the one which is there on the top as you look into the slide. So then below that, there are 2 nodes. We call them as subtree or subnodes. These subnodes, as we see, again, they get branched out further. So the one on the left side, right, it has got one oval shaped node as well as this kind of rectangular shaped node. So all those oval shaped nodes are being called as leaf nodes. Each and every leaf node that is shown here will represent the output. So according to this decision tree that is given as an illustration, we have to understand, and here we have got 3 attributes, 3 input variables, 3 independent variables. The output variable can be anything among 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 outputs. So by using these 3 independent variables, the model is going to predict any one of the 5 output variables as we have shown them in blue color oval shape. So hope you're able to understand. So you take a data set, the data set has the input values, then the input values will attribute to the computation of the output value. We call that as class or a label. So when you have a collection of attributes, these attributes are going to be arranged hierarchically, and the most significant node is called as the root node. And depending upon the degree of significance, the order of significance, they are going to get arranged as a tree. So as we descend down, at the end, we are going to have all the possible classes. We call them as labels. Hope we are able to understand what is meant by a decision tree. So let us go to the definition of decision tree. It is a tree which is developed based upon the certain decision taken by the algorithm in accordance with the data that has been used for training. Right. So what is so special about this decision tree? And it uses the features that are given in the data to perform supervised learning and to develop a tree-like structure. So this is going to. Shall I stop and then continue? So let me take a pause here. I'll continue. As you go for editing, you can start from this point. So now hope you understand what do you mean by a decision tree. So let me go by the definition of decision tree. It is a tree which is developed based on certain decisions taken by the algorithm in accordance with the data that is given as well as the way in which it is being trained. Right? So 2 things that take place. One is, so now, so hope you understand what is meant by a decision tree. So let us go by the definition of decision tree. It is a tree which is developed based on certain decisions taken by the algorithm in accordance with the given data that it has given, that has been trained on. That is, data is the one on which the model is getting trained. So you have to understand, you have the attributes. The attributes will get converted into a decision tree. So you have a T kind of structure. So you have a root node, you have subnodes, and the outputs are going to be arranged as labels. or classes, class values, as you can see here. Those who appear in the blue color or the kind of green color are called as class values. So now a decision tree uses the features in the given data to perform supervised learning and develop a tree kind of structure. We call this as a data structure, whose branches are developed in such a way that the given feature set, the decision tree can predict the expected output with maximum accuracy possible. So what happens during the construction of decision tree? All the attributes are being taken, and then first it breaks down the data set into smaller subsets with an associated decision tree. So the attributes are going to get arranged in the form of tree, like based on the hierarchy, based upon the significance of the attributes in the process of problem solving or in the process of decision making. So first it breaks down the data set into smaller subsets with the associated decision tree. Then the decision nodes, 2 or more branches and the leaf node will be available. So you have the root node, you have the sub nodes, then at last, at the end, you have the class labels. And interestingly, this is a very simple example I have given to make you understand what is meant by a decision tree. But interestingly, when you take the decision tree machine learning models, you can see it is capable of constructing such a complicated decision tree for about even 50, 60 attributes, where it looks really very complicated. So the decision nodes, like 2 or more branches and the leaf node will be available in the tree. So that is going to be used for classification or decision making. So the end nodes are being called as decision nodes. And prior to that, we do the process of decision making. So the topmost decision is called as the best predictor. The other name for this node is root node. So now let us continue with the next one. More details about this decision tree in the next slide. So here I made a mention. I told you as we try to construct the decision tree, we have to arrive at the significance of each and every attribute. That happens by the computation of entropy or information gain. So there is a typical formula for the computation of entropy. I don't want to confuse you with the computation of entropy or information gain. And please take at this point, when the decision tree is constructed, it makes use of these two components, entropy as well as information gain, which guides the process of constructing the decision tree with respect to the significance, importance, or the kind of value that we add to each and every attribute. So what is this entropy about? It's a measure of purity of an arbitrary collection of information. When we calculate the entropy for the attributes, from the value that you get out of the computation, we will be able to understand what is the contribution of this particular attribute in computing the final value. That is what we call as entropy. And information gain is the amount of relevant information that can be gained from the given random sample. So what is the amount of information gain that the process can get out of the attributes is also calculated. So then the entropy is used to calculate the information gain, which is used to identify which attribute of the given data set will provide the highest amount of information. So depending upon the highest amount of information that can be obtained from the attributes, we arrange them sequentially. That is level 1, level 2, level 3. We go by the hierarchy. So the one at the top level will have the highest information gain or entropy. The next one will be having less amount of entropy, less information gain. So as we descend down, probably the entropy value and information gain will be reducing. So here we have a typical example. This is a very common example that we illustrate for the construction of decision tree. So here, the attribute which provides the highest amount of information for the given data set is considered to have more contribution towards the outcome of classifier, and hence it is given the highest priority. So to put it very simple, here we have got the data as, say, outlook, temperature, humidity, and then wind. Excuse me. So you can see here we have taken 3 different values. Outlook is being taken, humidity is being taken, wind is being taken, because these 3 attributes are concluded to be the one which are having higher entropy as well as information gain. So now we go for, suppose when you start the process of decision making with Outlook. So if you can just look into the content of the table that I have shown here, and we have a collection of days for each and every day. What was the recording with respect to the outlook, temperature, humidity, and wind? And here the decision is whether a person can decide to play tennis or not. So here the output is going to be yes or no. So what are the attributes that will decide about this yes or no? And out of the calculations on entropy and information gain, they have chosen 3 attributes: outlook, humidity, as well as wind. So for each of the category, you may be having the unique values. Suppose if we take outlook, then the unique values are sunny, overcast, as well as rain. So now when that is the case, then suppose if the day happens to be sunny, then we have to check further whether it has humidity or not. So again, for humidity, we have 2 distinct values, either it is high or it will be normal. So we take that. Then if it is high, suppose when we start with outlook, then we come to the condition of sunny, and when the day happens to be of humidity, then we branch between high and normal. If it is high, then the answer is no, can't play tennis. So if it is like, as we go for the second one, normal, then it is going to be yes, we can play tennis. So likewise, if it is overcast, then you don't have to check for other conditions. We can decide, yes, we can go for playing tennis. Suppose if the outlook happens to be rainy, in such case, again, we have to check whether it is windy or not. And windy has 2 distinct options, strong as well as weak. If wind is very strong, then the answer is no, otherwise it is yes. So hope you're able to understand when a data set is given, how do we construct a decision tree out of the given data set. And here you have to understand one point. So you may have multiple attributes. So it doesn't mean that when we are constructing a decision tree, all the attributes are to be taken into consideration, and we have to fit all the attributes into the decision tree that we construct. So it is not necessary to consider all the attributes. So it is important that we must be able to cull out the most important attributes, and hence we may be able to go in for constructing the decision tree and ultimately coming out with the final.